Taurus. Hi, this is your redo reading. This is Marta with Universal Power Tarot, and these messages we bring you today are supposed to encourage, elevate, and empower you guys. Hello, my friends. How is everyone doing? I hope you're doing fine. You're doing all right. Taurus, the reason I'm saying redo, and you can find this in the community tab, is that I actually redid your reading because the first one was, as I found out after I did the reading, was only for Patreon. So if you would like to tap into the reading that I did, it's rather for someone else, I felt, but to help you understand their situation a bit better in terms of compassion and forgiveness. It really helped me to gain some insights as I was doing the reading. So if you would like to tap into that, I'll attach the link down below. I put it on all tiers, so also for the $2 support tier, if you're keen. Let's hop into this. I received your channeling, Taurus, and we already have 3 cards out, but these are heavy hitters. Like, these are big cards. It's from the Earth Warrior deck, and we have 3 of them, and I'll get into this because this is like what's overviewing your reading. Basically, this is what's setting the tone, because as I was doing your chanting just right now, it was very clear that you're reconnecting, you're tapping into a very ancient family, feminine line lineage. And we have females here. We have Nana Buluku. She rests to create. And then we have the goddess of Teotihuacan. She guards the waters of life. And both of them, I'll show you this in a second, have third eyes displayed on the cards. And in the middle we have the totemic puma, power awakening. And this is really, really significant. So I can already feel the power that is radiating from those cards into your reading. We'll see what is happening here in the 3D, but this is definitely, like, if you want to take it there, like the higher view, right? And what's happening here in your life. So it is all about how it feels. It doesn't matter like what you use specifically. For example, I was strongly getting some of you are really working with crystals, and it's not about what anyone tells you. It's rather about how you feel about certain things in your life. We have a lot of amethyst, we have the blue agate, we have the carnelian, we have the citrine, amethyst again, and we have the smoky quartz, and we have clear quartz in here. It's very earthy energy, which very much suits your sign, of course. And it's also with the candles. It wasn't about what that specifically meant. For example, the orange candle smelled good to me, although it had just run out, so I couldn't use it. And I was thinking, okay, which one to use, which one would fit? And it was really about how does it feel to you. So really feel into how do things feel for you, what foods feel good for you, not depending on what anyone says the food means. For example, like meat, that means heavy, or potatoes and beetroots, that means grounding. Just go with what you need at the time. Really feel into it. It's really about your needs and becoming very clear of them. And also it's interesting because I drew today, and in the shorts you will find it, the YouTube shorts, I found the inner earth, and that was exactly about unearthing your needs. So this is tying directly into your reading here as well. And I was writing one letter before the other, so this is also tying into this. For example, with it, I wrote the T first and then the I, and then with with how, I started with a W and then I wrote HO in front. So you're doing something entirely different according to what you need, and that is totally fine because that's what you need most right now. It was almost like writing backwards, but it is rather a different approach you are taking in a specific matter. Lots of thoughts, maybe going to some of you that means racing thoughts as well. The tip here is, excuse me, like the sage is going wild. Do one thing at a time, Taurus, and this one thing, finish this one thing, okay? That's also an advice that showed up in another reading too. That's important for right now. If you do have those racing thoughts, or if you have reoccurring thoughts about the future, about the past, just know, do one thing at a time, okay? Also, we had a different setup, like I said. We have the big cards out, and many at that. Ancestors are with you, exactly. That's what came through at that time before I even did the chanting. Not just the recent ones, Taurus, but those from long ago. And this is interesting because I didn't remember this as I wrote this down, because it comes through in channeling. So I'm like, half there and half not there. It's between the realms that I'm tapping myself into, and it's this very fine line. And a lot of you may become aware of that line, or maybe are aware of that line already, because you're starting to tap into more of something here. What I was getting was starry ancestors as well. Third eye opening, like I said. So some of you may be having headaches or a tingly head. And I had to laugh about the tingly head analogy, because it's not really an analogy. It really is actually what's happening. And I just know the feeling so well. It feels kind of funny also as you're tapping yourself in this fine line of channeling, because you want to tap yourself into a specific line, right? You don't just, wow, it really goes crazy. I have to extinguish it now, I think. It's too much. There we go. Okay, sorry. So to really tap yourself into that fine line that you want to read from, and just to get a feeling of it, because it becomes more distinguished over time, like where you tap yourself into and how this feels, and it becomes second nature in a way that you can easily do it, when before it may have taken you a long time. For example, with me, I used to, like when I started out, or when I was started out, I should rather say, and this is tapping into your reading as well, I started out before every reading doing salt baths, doing huge rituals, like cleansing myself, doing this, and then I was like, how am I supposed to sustain this? Like, this is almost not possible. I'm like preparing 3 hours before every reading just to be able to tap myself into those energies correctly. And now I'm at the point where I'm just sitting down, whatever I do, wherever I come from, I'm just able to tap into that very fine line, because my body, my brain somehow, or whatever it is, just somehow knows how to tap itself in. It's like learning to ride a bike. After you learned it, you can get better at it. You can put your hands off the wheels and do certain tricks. Of course you can, but you know how to ride that bike. Okay. Yeah, some of you did not ask for this. Like I said, like I tapped into it. It feels like, some of you may be feeling like you were pushed into this journey, and maybe a little fed up at times about all the change, sometimes because it doesn't feel like you chose this path, but you'll grow into it, like was explained. Some of you are doing art, specifically paintings and drawings, and you are called to focus on it more. You have a gift, and sharing it will become increasingly important, okay? You have undergone some preparation. For example, I'm supposed to give you this example, setting up routines in difficult circumstances because you had to. But now you maybe wouldn't have the time or the energy to develop those rituals or practices. So it is good that you had to at the time when it was difficult, okay? That's that for you, Taurus, right now. And I want to hop into by showing you what I mean with the third eye. I mean, look at this. This is crazy. And first I thought she was a man, like this holy woman. And I thought it was about divine masculine and divine feminine. And it still looks like that to me, but she's a goddess of the water. She guards the waters of life. And this is what this is. Look at like how artsy these cards are and how expressive they are. So you're stepping into more fullness, into more power here, specifically with a totemic puma that was in between. This is like your cards here, right? And there is a fierce spirit, and I'm getting like female. Again, I'm getting the feminine ancient line here that you're tapping into, Taurus. Sorry about the noise. And this is a true power awakening. Sorry. Something that can't be missed, right? Something you just have to wait on. And you know, we have this specific type of butterfly that I personally see a lot. We have the berries here, the blackberries, I believe they're called, that seem to be really important. So some of you may have them in your garden, or you may have come across them recently. There is something in there for you. Either you need what's in them right now, either that's important for you, or it's to get in touch more like with nature and with how everything grows, because these berries, the moras, they grow here everywhere, and it's just like they're growing without much that is needed to them, right? They're just there, and you can benefit from them. You can do all sorts of things, creams, like ice creams. You can do all sorts of stuff with them, or you can just put them anywhere because they're like fruits. And that is meant to say that you can be creative like with your diet, and just to know that things are provided for and that you're hugely supported at the time, Taurus, okay? So that's that. Let me tap into what you need to know right now. Oh, wow. That jumped out. You have the High Priestess. No wonder, Taurus. So you're highly tapped in, hugely tapped in, and there's more to come for you. You are learning currently something about the light and the darkness and vice versa, about duality and how to detach from thoughts that you used to have about certain situations or even people. You're learning about your own uniqueness as well, like more of that. You're learning to express yourself, you're learning to step into your power and into more powers that will be given to you. That's a huge transformative process. It's interesting because I just found a cicada, I think they're called, these animals. They're the ones that were responsible for the noise here, by the way. They're so loud. And when they peel their skin, like when they shed their skin, they actually have to break out of their old skin. So that was like kind of a brutal process, and I was thinking about it, and I already knew that it was going to pop up in a reading as it does in yours right now. So this could have been a brutal process to break out of your old shell and to step into all that newness and to become accustomed in the position of the High Priestess, right there. But you're being watched over, you're being guarded. So these are huge guards that you have. Guards and guides. Yeah. This one, yeah. The Wheel of Fortune. Yeah. There's something that was meant to happen, right? So hello. Here we go. There was something that was meant to happen for you. This was like in the realms of contract. So maybe you've had like a spontaneous awakening, a spontaneous Kundalini rising. Some of you may have not wanted to step into this path specifically. You just wanted healing maybe, or you just wanted to feel better. But yet here you are, and you are on this path. And again, there's this huge feeling of you are supported, Taurus, and you have been throughout this whole time, because this is what you wished for. I'm getting strong death and rebirth again with this card here too. You know, being naked, being stripped bare, like brutally sometimes being stripped bare of anything that you used to have in your life, any stability also that you thought was stability, which really wasn't. Very strong Taurus topic, because Taurus generally is very, or can be very, attached to material things and to being prone to seeking security and stability within like the worldly things, which there's nothing against that, because this is an experience, right? This is you learning duality as well, and not being hard on yourself either, just becoming aware of certain patterns. From rags to riches is what I'm getting, because you may have been trying, some of you may have been trying to seek fulfillment in something that wasn't really fulfilling to you. For example, and I've done this myself, which is a great experience, like being in a job that really pays super well, with a company car, company cell phone, all those things, only to realize that that doesn't really make you happy. It can for a while, and there's awesome things to find in this. Again, the experience is great, but then to see, okay, maybe I need to go a different route, and that's what I'm seeing here. You actually riding on that unicorn and being like, oh, maybe I need to leave that. Maybe I need to go out. And to some of you, it may have happened kind of forcefully. That is to say, without you really being ready for it, or without you really wanting to step out of it. But there you were, right? And the spirit just took you out of the situation, because they knew that you could be king or queen. You know, emperor, empress energy is what I'm getting with this. You just had to go on the full journey, not taking very much of your stuff with you, to the point of being stripped bare, like I said. But now you're clothing yourself in high priestess, high priest clothes. So this is a different life, and look how abundant she is, look how happy she is, how fulfilled she is. Not gender specific. This is it. Like, it feels so good to be grounded, right? Not to walk around in high heels anymore. Although that's really cool. But to be barefoot, like on the ground. But there's a time and place for everything, is what I'm hearing with this. Time and place for everything. There's a huge alignment that is happening for you right now, Taurus. What else, please? Thank you. Yep. Huge alignment. Queen of Cups, so someone who's highly intuitive. It's only again to to tell you how intuitive you are, like third eye opening again, because this is what I always describe, like the third eye here, the intuitive knowing, and also the recognizing your emotions as messengers, right? They're messengers from spirit, from your ancestors here. Taurus, perfect wife, good mother is also what comes up here with this card. And really alignment, the way they want me to lay out the cards is like very, very aligned here. It's almost like Virgo-esque, where it's just like we need to have it this way and that way. It's specifically in the middle and specifically that way. So again, they're trying to push you to a sort of thing. The rituals come to mind, the practices, the routines that you've put in place for yourself during a time where you had to, they really come into play now, where spirit said you need to do it a certain way, and until you're doing it a certain way, we won't stop like nagging. Possibly we won't stop making you aware, let's put it that way. We won't stop making you aware of this until you really align yourself with it, because you'll need it as you step forward. You asked us to work with you, and so that's exactly what we're doing. At any time, what I'm getting, you can step out of this if you so wish, Taurus. I want to make that clear here. This is also what they're saying, like, because this isn't the easiest path that you chose here for yourself, but it is for your own evolution, for your soul's evolution, and for the evolution of humanity. And I'm now getting like a huge heart chakra opening, and if you follow that, if you follow your heart, if you follow your soul, that will lead you, that will like guide you along this path, Taurus, just fine. And you'll see that that's what you actually want if you tap yourself into this. But please do it yourself, like confirm for yourself if this is what you really want, especially if you are having a hard time right now or in the future even. Just tap yourself into those energies and into yourself and ask yourself, what is it that I need? Not what you heard somewhere about some awakening journey or some crystal or some cards, but what is it that you want? This is your answer. And I can't wait to take this over to Patreon if you're interested. 11.11 a month. Again, your other reading is over there as well, the YouTube portion and the extended, for only $2 US, available over there. So if you're keen, link down below. And if not, I'll see you next time. I love you so much. Bye.